Well, we all asked ourselves the same thing, and then when it became a discussion based on the success of the first season, all the great creative kind of team, including obviously Knight and Blake being the author of the books and the creator of this world, started saying, look, if we can figure out a story that's as compelling and interesting and knows where it's going, so there's an end point, we have the confidence taking the audience on a great journey and unpeeling these various layers like we did season 1, we'll do it. So it was kind of a think tank, and people got very, very excited about all the ideas that were put forth. And it's something that we know will arc out over this season and one more season.
Yeah, 2-season story. Yeah. I mean, we what we found was the world of Wayward Pines is incredibly rich, and we just kind of touched on the tip of the iceberg. We were kind of handcuffed with season 1, our high concept idea, which is the last town on Earth. There's creatures outside the town. We really could only tell that story in the second half of the season. Because the first half was the mystery plan. And so we just felt like there was a lot of rich ideas and compelling stories and character moments, knowing that this is it for us, humanity. And so there's the Abby's outside the fence, and then obviously the characters. So that really excited us.
Now, the first episode of season 2, will that catch us up where we left off in season 1?
Yes, it's a continuation of the story, and it's not. I know we've been talking about this. It's not necessarily a reboot because we are continuing the story, and as you guys know, we have the ability to bring in new characters, wake up new characters.
When we woke up Charlie Tahan in the hospital at the end of season 1, it was about 3 years after the invasion of the town by the Abbeys. So this will pick up at about 3 months after that, when we open episode 1 of season 2.
So how will you go about incorporating these new characters into season 2?
Where they're going to be very much central to the fabric of the town, just like Matt Dillon's character of Ethan was in season 1. Jason Patrick's character of Theo, he's a surgeon, Dr. Theo Yedlin, will be very central. They have to wake him up for a very, very compelling reason when he comes into our story, and he ends up being very pivotal in what will happen in this last chapter.
How many episodes are you getting for this season?
10.
Okay.
10.
Now, will the Pines get a little more technologically advanced, or will we still have the old rotary phones? And
we pretty much stay true to what Pilcher's design
vision,
of this world was, because you have this kid Jason was a first generation leader who's taken over, and he believes very, very strongly in the world that Pilcher created, and that's the reason we still exist, and so he's adhering to that with a great fervor.
You had these sort of fascist millennials take over at the end of the first season. How much do you feel the show is reflective of sort of the political landscape of today, or do you guys?
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is
We haven't really discussed that, but it is kind of like the Republicans and the Democrats when we open the season this year.
Yeah, it's true.
The first generation and the rebels.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of there's some skirmishing going on when we open this season.
The continuation is you'll see the two sides play out. But that is interesting. When we had come up with season 1, I mean, this craziness had not happened
yet. We didn't know
yet
what the circus was going to be.
And we were talking a little bit earlier that Terrence Howard is coming back.
Yes.
So how is that working? Are we going to be flashing back to his times, or
you might be?
Get some more technology.
That's a good option. Yeah.
I will say this, we're not doing anything silly. There's no magic tricks. We're staying
it's very
true to the science that was created by Blake and the mythology, and very true to the rules of that world. So we're not playing games with it.
And like season 1, we did have different time periods and stuff.
Yes.
That was a big asset for our storytelling. So we want to use that weapon again.
Yeah.
And we also had some sort of android quality to him.
Which character?
Terrence Howard.
Oh, Terrence. Well, no. I could say he's 100% human. He might have been off kilter. As many people are in Wayward Pines.
Now, the new characters that you wake up, will they realize soon that they are thousands of years in the future?
It unfolds,
Yeah.
and some people get it quicker. Some people are prepared to deal with it mentally quicker.
Yes.
Some people might be told that truth and not accept it. It's it's a continuation of that kind of thing.
What is the balance between flashbacks and present day on the show, would you say?
Oh, I'd say present day is
Yeah.
80%.
Yeah.
I mean, or 85.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
90%. So mostly
It's
present day.
mostly present day.
Yeah. Once in a while, we'll go back and
inform certain
Yeah.
stories and characters.
in a really those are some of our very fond of those things because it
Yeah.
allows us to do creative storytelling.
We are, which we announced, we are bringing Toby Jones back picture as well. So
Yes, and Melissa
And
Leo's
Melissa
coming
Leo.
back, and Carla
Carla
Gugino
Gugino, yeah.
is coming back, and Hope Davis is back, and so we have a lot of Toby Jones, if I didn't say it.
yeah.
And will the Abbeys have the ability somewhere down the line to communicate with the residents?
What an interesting question. We're going to definitely find out new things about
Yeah.
Abbeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to
That-
find out new things about Abbeys.
That's one of the things that really excited us. Again, as
Yeah.
I said, we can lean into our high concept this season, and
Yeah.
the Abbeys are very intriguing, and so we want to tell their
Yeah.
story as well.
We'll be learning more about them.
I was gonna say the first season was structured where the first half was a mystery.
Exactly.
Do you add new mysteries
We
into
do.
season 2?
We do. Some things you might be watching and not realize they're mysteries until we turn over a card, and then you'll be quite surprised.
That's nice. Now, as far as the Pines too, will we find out more? I guess areas in Wayward Pines, because before we had
Yes.
the town, we had the,
Yes.
the outside. So we'll
Going into new places we haven't traveled before. Definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
and
So, what would you say is the theme of this second season?
Oh, that's a good question.
What was sort of the kernel that
I'd
you
say-
did in the writers' room? What was sort of
I'd say what are human what is our responsibility on this planet? What do human beings what is our responsibility on this planet
Yeah.
as human beings?
I think the dichotomy of humans and the Abbeys, and our question of are we supposed to be here?
Do we belong
Do we
here?
belong here?
Is it our right or is it a privilege? And
Yeah.
how do you distinguish between the two? And how do you go forward
Yeah.
when you've made a lot of mistakes?
Are there any characters in particular that are more challenging to write for or easier to write for?
You mean for the new season or first?
Both. Either.
It's interesting because I think that sometimes the first generation kids who've only known this as their reality and they've grown up in this reality, it's a fun newer challenge for us because we didn't bring them into the story as much until the end
Yes.
of the first season.
That's
So
right.
it's like all the things, they have a different set of values and
Yeah.
a different vision of maybe morality.
That's right.
But it's all very deeply felt and there for a reason.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting to contrast how they see the world with
Yeah.
people that came from our world in present day.
Yeah. No, that's well said.
How does having a new lead, Jason Patrick, taking over from Matt Dillon, how does that change the tone of the show or affect it?
And for us, it didn't really change. I mean, they're
No.
playing different characters.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful character to have a doctor kind of in the last town.
But it also kind of reveals itself because the actor brings things to it that you start discovering as it goes, and that has an effect on how other characters relate to him or her, and things kind of take on a life of their own. So we're at the beginning. We're only in in episode
Episode two,
2
yeah.
of season 2 right now. So we're still, uncovering lots of interesting new terrain.
How far into writing it are you? What episode are you guys on?
I'd say we're up to 5.
Five. Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
and what has been the most? I'm sorry. What has been the most challenging aspect of writing season 2 when you found out there was going to be a season 2? What was the most challenging aspect of it?
I think really how to keep that, a sense of mystery and enough to
Yeah.
reveal that will keep the audience hooked in
Yes.
and compelled to want to come back week after week when we had such a great, tentpole in the middle of season 1. We want to live up to that. We feel we can, but not easy.
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you guys so much.